All right, let's just jump right in. We all know the drill, right? Eat your vegetables. But if you've been on the internet for more than 5 minutes, you've probably seen that the advice is, well, kind of all over the map. What does healthy even mean when it comes to vegetables? Is it about jamming in as many vitamins as possible, or could there be some hidden downsides we're not talking about? It's a massive debate, and today we're going to try and make sense of it all.
I mean, just look at spinach. On the one hand, you've got trusted sources like Medical News Today calling it a total powerhouse of good stuff. Vitamins, iron, you name it. But then, on the other hand, you have someone like Scotty Optimal saying that a single cup has way more of these things called oxalates than your body can handle in over a week. So, who are you supposed to believe? This is exactly the kind of confusion we're going to tackle.
And here's how we're going to do it. We're not just going to pick a side. Instead, we're going to look at this whole debate through a few different lenses. First up, the nutrient scorecard. Then, the anti-nutrient defense. After that, we'll explore the idea of a vegetable having a specific job. And finally, we'll bring it all together so you can figure out what framework makes the most sense for you.
Look, the goal here today isn't to crown one vegetable as the king of all vegetables. No way. It's about giving you a set of tools, different ways of looking at the food on your plate, so you can actually navigate all this conflicting information and make choices that feel right for you.
Because that's really the heart of it, isn't it? There is no single best vegetable out there. It all comes down to the lens you're using to look at it. So this whole explainer is designed to help you consciously choose your own lens.
So let's kick things off with the lens we're all most familiar with. I'm calling it the nutrient scorecard. This is all about the good stuff packed inside.
The question this lens asks is super simple. Which vegetables give you the most nutritional bang for your buck? You know, if we're just counting up the vitamins, the minerals, the fiber, who comes out on top? It's purely a numbers game.
And when you look at it that way, some clear champions really do emerge. Based on analysis by sources like the Vegan Gym, kale is an absolute monster. It's got the most fiber, the most vitamin C in its class, and the most calcium, period. Spinach, it totally dominates in iron, potassium, and folate. And here's a surprise, garlic, it's the king of zinc, manganese, and vitamin B6. And sweet potatoes, a perfect score for vitamin A. Through this lens, these are absolute, undeniable superfoods.
But is that the whole picture? Of course not. So let's switch things up and look through our second lens, which asks a totally different kind of question. This is the anti-nutrient defense.
See, this perspective says, hey, hold on a second. Plants aren't just sitting there waiting to be eaten. They're alive, and they've actually developed their own chemical defenses to survive. And the argument is that some of these so-called anti-nutrients might not be so great for us.
So first on the list are oxalates. Think of them as tiny, sharp, crystal-like things. And you find a ton of them in some of our nutrient champions, like spinach and kale. The worry is that they can grab onto minerals, which might stop you from absorbing them. And for some people, they could play a role in developing kidney stones.
Then there are lectins. These are often described as sticky proteins. They hang out in the peels and seeds of things we eat all the time, like peppers, cucumbers, and peas. The claim here is that because they're sticky, they can mess with our digestion and maybe even irritate our gut.
And rounding out the top 3, we've got goitrogens. You'll find these in all those cruciferous veggies we love, broccoli, cauliflower, the whole crew. The theory is that these compounds can get in the way of your thyroid using iodine, which it absolutely needs to function properly.
And there it is, the complete flip side. I mean, just a minute ago, kale was wearing the crown as a nutrient champion, right? But you look at it through this lens, and you get this really intense warning from Scotty Optimal saying it sends a flood of oxalate crystals through your body and that nobody should ever eat it. It's the exact same vegetable, but you get two totally opposite verdicts. Crazy, right?
Okay, so how on earth do we make sense of this? That brings us to our third lens, which is a bit more nuanced. It's not just about what a vegetable has, good or bad, but what it does. Let's call this the specific job lens.
This way of thinking goes beyond just slapping a good or bad label on something. Instead, it asks, what's my goal here? Are you trying to boost your workout, help your digestion, support a detox pathway? With this lens, you're picking vegetables like you'd pick tools from a toolbox for a very specific task.
What's cool about this lens is that it also gives us answers for those anti-nutrient concerns. Sources like Dr. Gundry often point out that simple, traditional prep work like peeling your cucumbers, taking the seeds out of your peppers, and cooking your greens can massively reduce things like lectins and oxalates. And then there's fermentation, which is a total game changer, turning something like cabbage into a probiotic powerhouse like kimchi.
Okay, let's look at a few quick use cases. Through this lens, a raw carrot is more than just vitamin A. According to some sources, its specific kind of fiber has a very cool job. It can actually bind to excess estrogen in your gut and help your body get rid of it.
What about beets? Yeah, some might worry about the sugar or oxalates, but from a job perspective, their mission is clear. Boosts nitric oxide. This is huge for blood flow and performance, which is exactly why so many athletes swear by beet juice before they compete.
And kimchi, of course. Its job is pretty obvious: support your gut microbiome. As sources like Medical News Today explain, that fermentation process creates all these amazing probiotics that can help your digestion and overall gut health.
And let's bring back garlic. We already know it's a nutrient star, but it's also got a very specific job. Multiple sources point to its ability to improve blood flow and act as a natural antibiotic, all thanks to a powerful compound called allicin.
So we've walked through 3 totally different ways to look at a vegetable: the nutrient scorecard, the anti-nutrient defense, and the specific job. The real power here isn't in picking just one lens and throwing the others away. It's knowing that you'll have all 3 at your disposal.
Think of this as your personal toolkit. So next time you're putting a meal together, you can actually ask yourself these questions. Am I using the nutrient lens today because I just want to max out on vitamins? Or maybe I'm using the defense lens because my gut is feeling sensitive and I want to minimize anything irritating. Or am I using the job lens because I have a very specific goal, like better blood flow for my workout?
See, the whole point isn't to end up with some universal perfect list of good and bad vegetables. That's impossible. The point is to empower you to stop letting all the noise make your decisions for you, and instead to start building a plate that makes sense for your own body and your own goals. So, after all of this, the only question that really matters is, what lens are you going to use?